Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome if you're new. So today we're going to be talking about the best settings in Cold War for Season 4. What better way to discuss what my personal settings are rather than right now at the start of the season. So a lot of these settings are going to be universal and some of them are going to be specific depending on what kind of console you're playing on. Now for me personally, I'm playing on PC, and disclaimer, I am also playing on a controller. So this is a SCUF controller and it is connected via USB to the back of my PC, but for the most part these settings are going to be applicable to you as well. So if you guys do enjoy the content, a like is definitely appreciated. If we could get a like goal of 650 likes on today's video within 24 hours of this being posted, that would be absolutely amazing. And make sure to subscribe to make your way back to the channel, and don't forget to turn post notifications on. Join Turbo Nation today, make it official, and let's get on with the video. All right, first let's talk about the graphics tab. So I'm not going to go through all of these settings here. You can just pause it if you want to, if you're curious to see exactly what I'm running with, because my specs are going to be different than your specs. So this is more directed towards PC players. All right, so let's go ahead and skip over down to the field of view. So I feel like this is one of the most important things as far as the graphics tab. So the field of view, if you increase this up to about 120, this is going to dramatically widen your surroundings. You're going to be able to see a lot more than the average person, especially those playing on much lower FOVs. So as you can see right next to my face cam, there is examples of what you are going to see depending on what kind of field of view that you use. Me personally, I like to use 105. That is my happy medium, because I feel like if I go all the way up to 120 or anything more than that, it's just going to be a lot harder for me to see people at longer distances. Obviously, they're going to appear a lot smaller, so my accuracy is not going to be as great because the target is going to be smaller. That's why I keep it at 105. This is definitely my sweet spot as far as FOV goes. If you guys haven't tried upping your FOV from 80, definitely give it a try. Do it incrementally. Don't just go straight up into 120. Work your way up to it. You have to get used to the visuals because it is something that you do have to get used to. All right, now for my ADS field of view, I have it on affected. Now the reason why is because if you put it on independent, then when you ADS, it's going to dramatically zoom in a lot closer, and it's just going to be a lot harder to see what's going on around you. So that could definitely mess you up in gunfights, and it's going to be harder to quote unquote multitask while you're in game. That's why I have it on affected, because the screen does not zoom as far in when you're ADSing. So affected is definitely the way to go. Vehicle aiming field of view is unaffected. That's not really that important. Brightness is not really that important. It's really on your personal preference, what your monitor settings are. Frame rate limit, also not very important. These are just personal preference. I have it on unlimited. Now, when it comes to details and textures, it really just depends on your rig. So this is what I'm currently running right now. I got texture quality on medium, model quality on medium. I have my HD game textures and models installed, 4K interface textures. I have this disabled because my monitor is not capable of 4K, unfortunately. Even though if it was capable of 4K, I probably would keep it disabled anyway because it doesn't really need it. It's absolutely beautiful as is on PC by default, and I feel like enabling this will just make the game run a little bit worse. Special effects quality, I have this on high. Reason why I have this on high is because it doesn't affect your megabytes whatsoever, so might as well have it on high. Screen space reflection, I have this on low. Object view distance, I have this on high. Water tessellation is also enabled. Shadow quality and lighting, I have this on medium shadow quality. Dynamic shadows on all. Special effects shadows disabled. Weapon shadow, I have this disabled as well. Ray tracing, these are all disabled. I don't really see a need for it. It does not enhance your gameplay. It's just pretty much eye candy at that point, and I would rather just have this disabled because it might affect the quality of how my PC is running. I have NVIDIA DLS on balanced, and my ambient occlusion quality is going to be medium. Motion blur is on disabled. Motion blur quality is low, mainly because, you know, it's just going to be a distraction. If I have this on high or I have this on enabled, you're just going to miss opponents that are in your area. So obviously this is going to be disabled just so you can see everything a lot clearer. Subsurface scattering, I have this enabled. Order independent transparency, I have this disabled as well. Now this is just personal preference. Obviously you don't have to copy this because this is going to be what is specific to my rig and its capabilities. All right, now moving on to audio, probably one of the most important tabs here besides the controller tab, obviously, because you want to be able to immerse yourself in gunfights and just listening for audio cues. cues. That's the most important thing that I look for when it comes for audio. If you guys haven't seen my gameplays, you have noticed that I do not have the music at all. You know, that doesn't really matter to me. I want to hear footsteps. I want to hear call outs, people using their equipment, etc., etc. So for master volume, I have this on 100. Music volume is on 0, just like I was stating. This is not important to me. Sound effects volume, I have this on 100. Dialogue is also 100. Cinematics on 100. Audio presets. High boost has always worked for me. So this is something that I was experimenting with when the game first launched. And you know, I tried different things from Treyarch mix to flat headphones, vocal quality, quiet boost, high boost, super bass boost. And high boost definitely felt like the best choice for me to hear footsteps. It just feels like it's a lot more crisp. It's a lot more clear, a lot more clarity behind it when people are walking. It just seems a lot easier. And obviously that's going to give me an advantage if I can detect where these opponents are coming from just by hearing sounds. Hit marker sound effects. This is all personal preference. You can copy this if you want to. All right. And that's about it. As far as the rest of my settings, these are all just personal preference. You can use whatever you want to. All right. So interface, there are some important things here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights of what's important. So here's what I'm running for my heads up display elements. I got everything pretty much showing here. And this is one of the most important things is the enemy health bars, because if you shoot somebody and you see that they're one shot, that's going to be your visual cue to go ahead and push those guys. It makes you have a lot more confidence to go ahead and challenge that person in a gunfight because you know they're weak, they're on their last leg, so go ahead and push them if they're literally one shot. That's why having their enemy health bars is important in gunfights. It just allows you to make better educated decisions pretty much. Same thing with ally health bars. If you know your teammate is getting into a gunfight and he's hurt, maybe that's your point to step in, and if he's got full health, maybe you know he's handling that gunfight really well and he doesn't need your help. All right, now moving on to the controller settings. This is very important, your horizontal and your vertical stick sensitivity. If you don't know what is your best sensitivity, my best advice is to go into a private match and test out different sensitivities until you find the perfect sensitivity. Find a target and just use your left and right stick to try to aim in on a target while you're moving around as well. That way you know how sensitive your stick is and you can get a better understanding of where you need to be as far as sensitivity. So for me personally, I rock a 6 and a 6 sensitivity for a couple of reasons. Number one is because it's a lot easier to control your recoil from longer distances when your sensitivity is lower. The higher your sensitivity is going to be, the harder it is going to control very minute movements on your sticks when you're trying to engage with people at longer ranges, because the longer ranges you are, the smaller your target is, and the more micro your movement is going to have to be on your sticks. So if we lower our sensitivity, it's just going to be a lot more forgiving if we do put a little bit more emphasis on either stick, and it's not going to move as much versus when you would have higher sensitivity. So that is just my personal preference and maybe something you guys can relate to as well. This is something that you can implement into your own game and try it out. You will definitely see your recoil improve. ADS sensitivity is going to be on 0.9. This is just personal preference. ADS stick sensitivity for high zoom, I have it on 1. Now these two, in my opinion, it's all relative based on your controller. So it's also based on the health of your controller. Somebody might be rocking like a 0.7 or a 0.4 or 0.5 or whatever. This is all really dependent on your stick sensitivity and the age of it as well. So my SCUF controller is fairly old. I've had it for a couple of years now, so the sticks are kind of worn out. So I'm just rocking with a 0.9 for now. I feel comfortable with it. Like I said, go into a private match and see what works best for you. Now button layout, this is going to be tactical. So with tactical, this allows me to switch my melee button with my crouch button. So now I am crouching with my right stick and then I am meleeing with my circle button. I like this because this allows me to add a lot more functionality to my gunfights. So if I wanted to go ahead and crouch or prone, all I have to do is literally press on my right stick. I don't need to take my thumb off of anything. The movement is just going to be instant because there's no lag between my finger going to the circle button. So that's why the tactical is going to be helpful in those kind of situations. Now I also do play with flip. So flipped allows me to use my L1 and R1 to aim and also fire my weapon. This is going to eliminate the lag between pulling the triggers on the conventional R1 and on the conventional R2 and L2. So there is no lag between that. The shots are pretty much instant, and also at longer ranges it's helpful because you can just tap on the button instead of just spamming it, because if you were to use your triggers, you have more likelihood of pulling far too down to the point where you're adding too much recoil to your gun, if that makes sense. Just go into a private match, test it out, shoot some targets, and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. But this is the way I have been playing Call of Duty for almost 10 years now. It has been definitely a setting that I change right away as soon as I play any Call of Duty. All right, everything else here with aim response curve type, I have it on standard. Controller vibration, I have it disabled. Target aim assist, of course, is enabled. Target aim assist mode is standard. ADS aim assist enabled. Airborne mantle behavior behavior is automatic, aim down sight behavior is on hold, steady aim behavior is on hold, armor behavior is apply 1, everything here. You can pause the video if you want for the rest of my settings here. Go ahead and copy it. But here is what I'm rocking for my max input thresholds. These values are going to vary from controller to controller. It all just goes down to the age of your controller because some controllers have more stick drift than others. So if there's a lot of stick drift, then that's when you want to increase the values right here on your right stick minimum input threshold as well as your left stick minimum input threshold. All right, so for auto sprint, I have this on enabled, and I like this for a couple of reasons. Number one, it physically helps my thumbs get preserved. I no longer get dents in my thumbs from playing Call of Duty all day. And secondly, it preserves the lifespan of my controller because I'm not constantly jamming it in. I'm actually doing it a favor by using the auto sprint method, and I've been using this since the release of Cold War, and I haven't had any issues whatsoever. So if you haven't tried it yet, go ahead and check it out. It'll definitely let you last longer while playing gaming sessions because your thumbs won't hurt at all, and I absolutely like it. Sprint cancels reload. I have this on disabled because I want to be in full control when I do cancel my reload. If I am caught in the middle of a reload action and somebody's right in front of me, all I do is just double tap YY or triangle, and that will cancel the animation. All right, and as for the rest of my settings here, you can go ahead and just copy this. Let me know down below in the comments what your sensitivity is just to prove that you made it this far into the video. I want you to put, are you a 6 out of 6 like me, or are you an 8 out of 8, or are you an insane like 20 out of 20? Let me know down below in the comments. Prove you made it this far into the video. Also, leave a like on the video if you did find this video helpful or informational, and I will see you guys in the next one. Let's go, baby. Yo, if you guys are always on your computer all day or you like to game for long sessions, definitely check out GamerAdvantage.com for these blue light blocking glasses. Quite literally the best blue light glasses that you can ever find on the market. Make sure to check out GamerAdvantage.com and just learn more about it, man. There's so many benefits to keeping your eyes nice and healthy. You won't feel that strain at the end of the day, and you'll go to sleep like a baby at the end of the day, and that's the best part. You won't feel tired at all. Definitely check out GamerAdvantage.com. Use code Turbo at checkout.